Back to you, Bob.
Okay, I'm here with John Durley, who's I've known for over 40 years, known and admired. And one of the most admirable thing about John is one of his hobbies in retirement. John packs himself and a bicycle in a carton in a plane. John's older than I am, and goes off to places like India and China and Latin America and Vietnam, and he, usually with a couple of friends, pedals away for several weeks on back roads and does like up to a couple hundred kilometers.
Oh, no.
Well, on a good day, 150.
That would be the extreme, yeah.
Yeah, you know, on these back roads. So I think it's phenomenal, and anybody can do it as long as you're in fantastic shape like John is. But John, yeah, no, I know. So John, how did you get started in this fantastic hobby?
Well, I think it probably evolved. You know, I went on a couple of little trips to Vermont and one little one in Europe. And then in the early 90s, I decided to really do a biggie, and I went to New Zealand on my own and did New Zealand. It took me about 3 months.
With all the hills.
That's right. And then nothing much happened in terms of trips until I went in the year 2000. I went to Quebec, and that was a supported trip. People putting up the tents and cooking and everything. And I met a couple of other guys that liked to bike, and we have since gone on about 7 trips together.
Hmm.
And,
That's fantastic.
On a
But I
daily
mean,
basis.
you could have gone with these same guys and done backpacking or organized tours. Why was it the bike?
Yeah, that's, I guess really, you know, it's a combination of the freedom of choice, because you can come and go when you want, where you want. You can get a fair amount of exercise that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing is you end up going off the beaten path. You know, you decide to, hey, let's go down this road instead of that road, and you end up in areas where tourists don't normally go.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice way to travel.
I know sometimes you've talked to me about, you know, on the back roads of China or India, running across people that the last thing they're expecting to see are 2 or 3 old guys on bikes.
That's right.
There must be a lot of planning that goes into it, though. You know, I mean, you don't just land somewhere for several weeks. And for instance, in China, it must have been quite a planning challenge.
Well, in a way, our plan is not to have a plan. I mean, we obviously decide where to start and where to end, and we have a rough idea of our route, but we pretty well play it day by day in terms of the weather, the kind of highways we're on, what seems to be of interest and what isn't of interest, and also our mode of travel. I mean, we're not reluctant to jump in a train or a bus or take a boat or a truck or whatever. If for any reason, you know, we just decide that that's a better way to get to the next point on the route.
And you don't often find yourself sleeping on the floor of the train station?
No. I would say in all the times we've had maybe 2 situations where we, you know, we couldn't find a place, a regular place for accommodation.
So what did you do?
Well, in one case, we were invited into this guy's house, and in another case, we slept on a bench in front of the train station.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, that's not bad and always nice.
No. In all other cases, we pretty well, you know, we always have a room, and usually with our own bathroom.
Yeah.
So.
And you're not paying shared prices for this?
No, we're not at all. Not at all.
John, give me a typical trip.
Well, I guess the last trip in January, February of this year, we went to the southern part of India. And we'd agreed, okay, we'll start in Chennai, which is on the eastern coast, and we'll go down to the bottom, the southern tip, and back up to, and end up in Mumbai. And so we biked, I guess, about 17 days, I think it was. We did about 2/3 of the distance by bike. We also took a train and a couple of trucks. Okay. Now, we'd used a website of somebody else that had done that trip, and we pretty well followed that, that itinerary. And, we didn't have any reservations in advance, but at no time did we have any problems staying anywhere. And overall, it was a very good trip. Very hot, but not too hilly, and went very well.
I think it's fantastic. What an adventure. What's the next trip?
Well, we're sort of tentatively talking about Eastern Europe.
Oh.
On the other hand, I still would like to go back to China, because we've only seen a very small part of China, and there's so much to see, and it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next few months we'll resolve that one.
Yeah.
There will be another trip.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
As I said, I mean, anybody can do it as long as they're in shape to bike in the back roads of these countries.
Yeah.
Wow. John, your friend Derek has your last trip on a website?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And what's the website?
Okay, I'll hold it up and everybody can check it out.
And I'll read it. It's dvann, DVANN at islandnet, all one word, .com. John, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Good.